I am Jan Pinkston. I had the pleasure and honor of serving as auxiliary president during the year 2002. My fondest memory of what was happening here at the club during my presidency in 2002 was future planning for the youth sailing that was happening out by the marina, remodeling and transitioning here inside the clubhouse that led to the new restrooms. Just good planning, getting ready for the future. Auxiliary was called in a couple of different ways in that planning process. We did fundraising that gave us the honor and joy of presenting checks to the Commodore as they were looking to build out those projects. And Eileen Medovich, Carol Jessmore, and I served as a committee representing the auxiliary in the planning of the women's restroom remodel here in the club. As a matter of fact, in looking back through my notes, I found an exchange that had to do with a cost-cutting measure that would have taken out the women's shower inside the clubhouse. And at that time, that was the only shower for the women to use. So we went to bat, so to say, for getting the women's shower inside the clubhouse. What drew me to the auxiliary was just being invited to serve in that capacity. I remember being somewhat surprised that I was even being considered, and thoroughly exhilarated by the offer to come and work with this group of women with all the projects that they were planning. I remember the auxiliary in those days as doing most of the planning around children's events because I was the very active mother of twin identical girls. And we spent a lot of our social life here at the club. So I love to plan parties. They planned a lot of parties, and I wanted to help. The Halloween party is my favorite party. As a matter of fact, it was fun to walk through the clubhouse just now and see all the ghosts and goblins and spiders. I have very fond memories of hanging netting and webbing and big hairy spiders off of walls. And my daughters, as they grew up here in the club, would come in costume and help me. We created an evening, I don't know if it's still going on, but we did a pumpkin carving soup and sandwich supper that we held in the old Cove House, where families would come in and dinner would be prepared for them and the pumpkins would be there, and we just had a good time getting our pumpkins ready for Halloween. My life has evolved from those early years of 2002 in club activity. My twins are now grown, and I'm now a grandmother, and my children don't live quite as near to the club, so the social life here is a little different. We get in once or twice. We were here for Mother's Day this last year, and that was fun. But at the time I served those 5 years on the auxiliary, we were here for most all club social events, just because it was fun to be part of it. Relax and have fun. Try. Do. Don't quit. The most difficult aspect of being the president of the auxiliary in 2002 was staying on top of the myriad of planning and details that goes into a 12-month period of time for the auxiliary. Keeping up with those things that were historically repeated each year and bringing to the board new ideas, new ventures, new things, and helping weigh. A lot of my correspondence went out to get ideas and opinions and surveys. Should we pursue this? Should we let this one lie dormant? The most rewarding part of being president in 2002, I'll allude back to hosting the auxiliary meeting where I turned the gavel over to the 2003 president. Because at the end of those 12 months, I could say, we did okay, I did this. And we did do well. We raised a lot of money. We made a substantial donation to funding of the youth clubhouse. Yes, I learned I could speak before a clubhouse full of people and not faint. emceeing the auxiliary luncheon was one of major personal growth for me because that was fairly new to me, to follow a schedule and an itinerary and introduce people. I take that as a peak experience of my personal growth during those 5 years. I'm a watercolor artist these days, and I'm pursuing my goals of painting in watercolor. It's a whole new venture for me, and I am enjoying it immensely. It's extremely challenging, interesting that you would ask that today, or I would think about that today, because I just celebrated my 75th birthday this last weekend, and I had family and friends in town for a 3-day bash. And my gratitude gift to them for all of their efforts were prints of my watercolors. And seeing their enthusiasm and accepting them as prints has given me a whole new sense of, I can do this. So like my days on the auxiliary, I keep pushing through the difficult parts. I can do this. I can do this.